Hi there, it's Catlin, and today I'm going to explain to you how I make my mini albums. I haven't seen anybody else that makes them this way, but this is the way that I do it that works for me, and I call it a modular system. And those of you who are doing my PC4XT album with me in paper crafting tools, tips, techniques, and tutorials, or whichever way it goes, PC4XT, you're making 7x7 modules. This is the page 3 that we're working on now, and they're on base pages. And a lot of people don't seem to understand why I'm doing it this way, why there isn't an album already done for these to go into, and why I say that this is the third page, this is page 3, but not necessarily the third page in the album. This is going to be totally up to you at the end of it how you want to do it. And I'll show you what I mean. We're doing these in modules. I call this a modular mini album. This is my working copy here of an album that has got 7x7 inch pages in it. I use this because I'm banging it around. It's made how I make the final album. It's got Tyvek all on the outside here. This has had a lot of abuse, but of course it's holding up just fine because of the Tyvek. On the inside, the pages, the base pages get mounted onto chipboard pages, which I show you how to cover the edges so you've got a nice outline. And your base pages just get added in as modules to your modular mini album in any order that you want at the end. And the other beauty of this is you've got your hinges here, you've got your gusset here. It's very strong because it's Tyvek backed. It's not going to rip regardless of how much abuse I give it. But I don't have to decide how wide this gusset is going to be until I'm adding the pages, the final thing, my final assembly, because if I've got a page that's not as wide as the others, or I've got a page that's wider than the others, I can make up for that in my gussets here. So, for example, this is the first page I taught, page 1, but I'm not going to permanently mount it in here because this is not going to be my final album. This is my working design. So this would be the page 1. This one here is your page 2, which isn't necessarily going to be page 2. This one here is the one that I finished, which will probably be one of the last, well, it will be one of the last pages I teach you. But I've got it done here to show, but I don't have it mounted because this isn't the position it's going to be in the album. But I do have the other pages that I've designed. Here's one that I haven't taught you yet. Here's one that is another copy of page 1. Or page 1? Yes. These ones here are 2 that I've designed but haven't taught you yet, haven't broken it down to the cutting pieces. I've decided that these pieces of the kit elements are going in these positions, so I've taped them in there. They're just being held in with fancy paper clips. These are another couple of pages I haven't taught yet. But it does give me an indication that when I have all of my pages in here, my album is going to be about that thick. And I can make up my mind about how wide I want the gussets later on. And as long as I'm making the base pages 7x7 to mount onto my modular thing, the modules will fit into the album like that. And to show you another example, I will show you another one I'm working on. This is one using the Graphic 45 Beneath the Voyage Beneath the Sea paper that came out a couple of years ago. This is what I'm making for Taylor for his 60th birthday, which was coming up in January. And this again, it's in modules. This is my base page of it. All the base pages are the same. What I add to the base page is what changes. This is the album that will be mounted into. You see it's got the nice covered edges. This is a score tape already in here. I'll be adding art glitter glue in between there to give it more security and using both glue and tape to get it in here. Again, it's covered on the outside with your Tyvek, so it's going to be very strong. Now this page here is going to be a very deep page, but I don't have to decide that yet. I've got my Tyvek reinforcement here. I think I know what I'm doing with this last page, but I haven't shown Taylor any indication of it, so I don't want to show you guys any indication of it because it's a surprise. But that tells me I'm going to be that wide now, and how many pages I want to add and how I want to do the outside. but I don't have to make up my mind until January exactly how these things are going to go. Now this page here is mounted permanently into the album. I do know that that's the position it's going to have right before my final deep page. So I did this page here. It's got magnets that are holding this in place here. And these little things up here. This page opens here with a pocket and a pocket. Opens this way with a pocket and a pocket. There's another series of pages underneath here, but you can't open them unless you know the secret trick. There is a way that you can get to these pages and open up the other ones to see what there are, but I'm not going to show you that yet because I'm not. And I know that page is going there, so it's mounted in here. I needed a page to match that, so I have designed this second page here in the same colors to coordinate with it. This one here is a vertical slant waterfall page. I haven't seen anybody else do a design like this either. This is one of my originals, and it's on a module. It's not finished yet. I want to add embellishments. There's going to be a ribbon coming across here to tie it up pretty. Basically this one here is a waterfall, and it's got a flip out, so there'll be room for a picture and a picture and a picture on each one of these. And I've installed these in a way that the hinges are all hidden from this, leaving you a nice big piece of designer paper here to put a nice big picture on that will be covered up by all of these. And I could work on this with a clear desktop and do all of my fiddly pieces like this without having to have this whole album that I've already pre-made, and I've got to stick it down here and work with all of this and smush up all these pages as I'm working through all the way through the album. So this is why I do it modular. I have half a dozen albums going of different sizes, different paper groups, all in modules depending on what color I want to work on that day. I know that this page here that I've got, I designed this page first. I designed it to be the first page, but I don't think it's going to be the first page anymore. It's going to be a second page in here. And this one here has got a clear acetate pocket up here, and it's got a tab, and it's got, this was a pull top here, this little tag that comes out, but the page up here is mounted so that the mounting finishes up when you insert this thing back in. Squiggle, 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 get her back down there, line her up. This flips open, sorry, this goes in here. This flips down, this flips open. I have another belly band over here with a tag underneath. This flips open, holding this page down. This page I want to add some Wink of Stella and jazz it up a bit. Comes in here. It's got places to tuck in here and here, or mount a big one here. Has a pocket over here with different tags in it. Now it's not done yet. I might want to fiddle around with it. I don't know what position it's going to go in the album, but it's modular, so I can leave that be now until I get my next brilliant idea. And it matches up with this page here. Now this page, I already know what I want to do with this, but when I came up with the idea of how I'm going to decorate this top piece, I wanted something special, and I had to go to AliExpress to find it. So I know it's going to take 2 months for AliExpress to get these things to my house, but I don't have to stop now because it's a module. And I know that when I get those things in 2 months' time, I am going to want to break away, from my PC4 XT and work on this module, which I can do because I don't have to have this on my desktop. I just have to have the module that I'm working on at the time. So I can just then take this piece, put my binder away, and finish up this page here, which has got a flip, places for things here, flips open, it's got double pockets over here to put stuff in here. But it's all modular, so I don't have to make up my mind on anything until I'm happy with what I've got. So this is why I do my modular pages. And as I said, this one here, I know that's my anchor page. This is where I know it's going to go. And if I decide that I don't want this page going next to that one, maybe I want an orange one instead, I can just add another module to this one and mount this here and here. and leave these pages for my orange pages because it's all modular. I don't have to make up my mind until I'm happy with the pages I've got, till I've decided how many pages I'm finished with, till I decide how thick it needs to be. I can keep adding on to my modular album with my modular pages and take as much time as I want to do it. I keep all of my pages in different scrapbook cases, and like I said, it works for me. I hope that helps some people understand the way I work, because I do know it is unusual, but I would rather finish up the album at the end and know that I've got the right amount of gusset between the two of them, the right amount of pages, and work until I'm happy and then build them all together into the skeleton later. So it saves the book from the wear and tear. I'm not tearing at all these pages as I'm building it. I'm not wrecking up the front that I can't decorate because I don't have all my pages in. I don't have to put my pages in before I decorate. It's modular. It works great. So I'm going to put this one back in here, that one back in there because it's modular. I don't know what I'm going to end up with. I just know that this works out fantastic, and with the chipboard pages, it's strong enough to support 2 modules, and the Tyvek keeps it so it will never tear. It'll take an awful lot of abuse. And yeah, I hope that explains to people how I design my mini albums, and I will be showing you module pages from time to time that are from different mini albums I'm doing. I don't have to show you the finished mini album. I can show you the finished page or the finished module, which could then be adapted. Like if I decided to take this module and I really like the way it turned out, but I've got an 8x8 album I'm working on, or I want to change this so it will fit in here and do another copy of this one, I can do this because they are modular and just work with them, like I said, until I'm satisfied. And the project isn't finished until the project is finished and I'm happy with it, and there's nothing further I think I can do. And it's also why I'm teaching you to make your own coordinating designer pages to match decorator pages, like those of you that have, oops, sorry, I hate reaching across there like that. Those of you that have seen this one, where did I put it? Drop my module out. There it is. Sorry for reaching. Still haven't got it. Underneath my table. There. Those of you that are working on PC4XT, you know that we have made our own designer pages to go with the designer pages that are in the pack. And because we've augmented the designer pack with our own pages, we're not going to run out of paper. So we can do it in a modular thing, and we don't have to know that we're only going to use 24 sheets before we start, because we're making our own. We don't know how many we're going to end up. So, as I said, I hope that explains a little bit more about how I work with my albums. I understand it's unusual, but it really does work very well. It's a very good binding system. And there, if you got any questions, shoot me a comment. But other than that, I hope you're following along with the PC4XT album and all the other makes I'll be doing. And we'll talk to you next time. Bye there. It's Catlin. See you next time.